You said that stress is a dream killer. Talk to somebody about that. What do you mean?
Absolutely. Stress steals your dreams for the very simple reason that when we become stressed, and I'm sure you've all experienced it because everybody suffers from stress at some point or another, the first thing that happens is that our brain literally flips a switch, okay? And we go from what is known as the rational, logical, linear brain, where we have clear thinking. Our energy from the frontal lobe of the brain switches and we go into what is known as the hind brain or the animalic brain. And this means that we are on automatic, okay? We just do. That means that we haven't got the opportunity to think clearly and make a rational decision. And as entrepreneurs, you want to be able to make the best decision possible. You need to be able to be creative. You need to be able to be productive. So the consequences of being stressed a lot of the time means that you are no longer productive. And as a result, for entrepreneurs and anybody wanting to move forward, you cannot perform at your best. You cannot be at your peak. So what happens is that puts you back, okay? And that's why I say that stress is a dream stealer. And to make matters worse, the medical fraternities say that approximately 90 to 90% of all illness and disease is because of stress. So in other words, when you are stressed, and let me just give you a bit of biology in terms of what happens in the physical body.
Wow.
When you are when you're working at a natural pace and you're moving and you're doing what you need to do, you're now, your mind is open and you are receiving information from all around you. But the moment you are stressed and triggered into that stress response, you cannot do what you need to do. And literally your body shuts down. Now, not all is negative, because when we are stressed, we are hypervigilant, we are aware of what's happening, and we try to be aware of what's happening, but stress also forces us to make appropriate decisions. So it's a catalyst for change.
We need to look at what is it that actually brings stress on people.
Yeah. Well, financial stress is a huge one. Relationship stress is another.
That's why there's this program.
Absolutely. And then, of course, work stress is one of the biggest stresses because we spend so much of our time in the work environment. So we're being bombarded by stress all the time. Traffic is another. You know, being caught up in the traffic, and road rage is also part of that. So there are so many things that are stressing us. But just the way somebody speaks
rejection
to you,
is
a huge one, Dr.
Does anybody here suffer from any kind of stress?
I find that I stress about my age. I'm almost 30 and I stress about not having achieved the things that I wanted to achieve by age 30.
Wow. Never let your age be your impediment. I'm 50. I've had to restart my whole life again from scratch. Okay, I lost everything a while ago, and this is why I know so much about stress. And I can tell you, you're never too young or never too old to start a life again. And as an entrepreneur, how many entrepreneurs have failed again and again only to rise up again? So never let your age stand in front of you, because I promise you, if you do, that is an excuse for living your best.
Like, I have a stress of studying, you know, and balancing my life with social activities. That is currently, that is the stress I'm facing right now.
Absolutely, because we live in a society where we are being bombarded by information all the time through social media. I mean, how many people are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, this and that, and you're getting emails, phone calls, SMSs. Now you're trying to study. So I'll give you a couple of techniques that you can use. When you are stressed, the first thing you want to do is just breathe. Now, this may sound like a natural, normal thing to do, but we don't, because when we're stressed, we immediately pull up and we shallow breathe. So the first thing you want to do when you are stressed is just breathe. Now, I'm going to teach you a breathing technique that is different from what you might actually might be counterintuitive.
Wow.
Is to breathe through your nose. So you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So by doing that, what you're doing, when you're breathing in through your nose, you are triggering what is known as the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest nervous system. So in other words, when you are stressed, you are in what is known as the sympathetic nervous system. So you are stressed and you're feeling that, and it's uneasy, it's uncomfortable. Just by breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, you are now in the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is calming you down.
Wow.
Another very simple, easy technique to do, and the women in the audience will know this because we do it quite often. When we get stressed, we can tap on our collarbone. So just do this with me, and you will notice that immediately your body starts to relax and calm.
Wow.
Our body knows and has absolute wisdom, innate wisdom, to calm us down. A third one that you can do is just to take your finger like this and press your finger in the middle of your hand and even rub your hand if you want to. It'll calm your body. Because what do we do when we're stressed? We fidget.
Yeah.
And we fidget because our body needs some wisdom.
And when we fidget, we forget.
We forget, absolutely.
In conclusion, tell somebody about this book because we're going to go now.
Okay, this book has a number of practical exercises. I've just shared 2 or 3 of 16 practical exercises. It also has 50 different strategies as well, plus a workbook and an audio download. So you are getting a maximum amount of information in one book alone.